David Barry reporting for Jewish Online Magazine. Our special guest today is Stefan from the Zionist Federation, and we're here to talk about the 1 minute silence event, which is going to be on Friday the 27th of July. Stefan, good morning and welcome to Jewish Online Magazine.
Good morning, thank you very much.
Stefan, can we chat about what's going to be happening on Friday?
Sure. Well, basically, a little bit of background is there was a call and a campaign fronted by Anki Spitzer, who's a widow of one of the murdered victims from the 1972 Munich Games, calling for the IOC to have a minute's silence during the ceremony Friday evening. Unfortunately, in their so-called wisdom, the IOC have refused and turned down that request. And we personally, as a group, as an organisation, didn't want to see that be the end of the story. So very simply, we came up with the idea of asking people, wherever they are, whatever they're doing, at 11 o'clock on Friday morning, the morning of the ceremony, to stand for 1 minute in silence just to remember the victims of the Munich Games. Coupled with that, at the same time, we're going to host a live webcast, a ceremony from the Embassy of Israel, with the ambassador participating. We're very grateful for that, and it'll be a 50-minute ceremony of remembrance leading up to a prayer, and everybody there joining in with a minute's silence at 11 o'clock on the day. So wherever you are, if you can't do the minute silence, or if you're at your computer, you can tune in minuteformunich.org, or sorry, minuteformunich.org, all to get that right, and watch it live on the internet.
Is there going to be any Jewish religious content?
We have a Rabbi Mervis who's coming, who will say a short prayer just before the minute silence, and we have to remember that you know, obviously the victims are Jewish. We're a Jewish organisation, as well as a Zionist one and everything else. So if you don't wish to do a prayer, you don't have to do a prayer. If you want to, then of course please go right ahead. Whatever you think is right personally to do for your own minute silence, for your own moment of remembrance, that's what we're asking for you to do.
Is this a humanist event, Stefan, or is it a Zionistical, or is it a Jewish, or is it a Christian? What's the ideal behind it?
Well, the ideal behind it is that we have 11 victims of murder, of a terrorist attack, who were Israeli and Jewish, and there was also, don't forget, there was also a German police officer who also died during the whole tragedy. And we want to remember them. We feel that they were part of the Olympic family, and that the Olympics should remember them, regardless of where they came from, regardless of the politics behind the story. We feel that if they were French athletes, had they been American athletes, the story might have been very different. The call for remembrance might have fallen on a more accepting ear, shall we say. We have Jacob Vince coming to join us, who's the executive director of the Christian Friends of Israel, who's coming to the embassy to participate in the ceremony. We have Bob Blackman, who's the Member of Parliament for Harrow East, who's joining us. So really, it's not a Jewish event, it's a cross-community event, it's a human event that we have victims of terror who died at the Olympic Games, and with the great honour and the privilege of hosting the Games in London, our capital city, I think it's incumbent on us to mark the tragedy, to mark the events with a moment of remembrance. And if the IOC won't do it, well, we'll organise something.
If the IOC would have gone ahead with this 1 minute silence, would this event organised by the ZF on Friday not have gone ahead?
Simply no. I mean, people asked all around the world for a minute's silence in the ceremony. I don't think it's much to ask. It happens all the time at football matches. It doesn't interrupt the proceedings. In fact, I actually feel that it probably would have added to the atmosphere, to the family feeling that you get with the Olympics. And had the IOC said yes, as I believe they should have done, there would have been no need for us to do this, and I'm disappointed that we have to do it. But I'm proud that we're doing it, and I'm proud that the support that we've had from organisations all around the world, Jewish and non-Jewish, to support us to get the word out. Our Facebook page is now over 15,000 people have said that they're coming, with 120,000 people or so also invited to it. So obviously if you expand that exponentially, the reach is truly global. It started in our offices, moving out to London and our friends, and now it truly is quite a global phenomenon and event, and I'm looking forward to, I hope, hearing stories of people doing their minute silence in their supermarket, in their office. Some people are on holiday, they said they're doing it by the swimming pool, and you know, all strength to them.
Mm. Has the Zionist Federation, the ZF, ever organised this event since Munich '72?
We have in the past made remembrance services. We have actually coming up in September, on the actual day, the anniversary of the tragic incident. We're actually having an event which we were doing in advance of the call for the minute silence. So we know, we are aware. It's part of our psyche. We're aware of what happened. We remember what happened. But this is something special. This was the Olympic Games coming to London was an opportunity, and it's the 10th Olympic Games since. It's the 40th anniversary of. This was a remarkable opportunity, which unfortunately the IOC passed by, and it's too important to let that pass by.
So in the 2016 Olympics, Stefan, you know, would the ZF be doing something similar as they're going to be doing on Friday?
Let's wait and see. I mean, the opportunity here was because it was in London. I believe the next one's in Rio, and what we would like is that the IOC at every opening ceremony, or possibly at the closing ceremony, to take a moment to remember the tragedy.
Why is it so important to remember this, Stefan? Why?
Well, first of all, because it was an act of terror at an Olympic Games, which is meant to be politics-free. I believe that all the competitors sign a contract, or the team sign a contract saying that they put their politics aside, and warring nations will come together and compete for sport, for the beauty of sport, and this was a horrific breach of that, and I say that coldly, but it was. It was also 11 Israeli victims died at the hands of terrorists, and we mustn't forget that, and it's important not to forget that, and it's important that, and it happened in the Olympic Village, to the Olympic family, and you know, when you lose a member of your family, you remember it, and I'm astonished that the IOC don't do more. And
were you pleased that the embassy in London, the Israeli embassy in London, decided to support this project of yours?
Absolutely delighted, and they not only did they support it, they completely went on board. They've made suggestions, they've helped us. They've really pushed us to make sure that we get it right. It's very important, and we have a great relationship with the ambassador and his team at the embassy, and it's a privilege that we didn't know where to host the webcast, and there really was no question. They told us straight away that we will be doing it at the embassy. We had no choice, and for us it's a great honour that we have such close relationships and such a close friendship with the embassy. And
there's going to be an absolute global audience, isn't there?
Well, we hope so, and yeah, I always fear the worst, and I'm a pessimist, and I'm making sure and pushing our technical people to make sure that the servers are strong enough and robust enough to take the people. We have no idea of who's going to come and watch us. We have, you know, we're hoping that many.
Are you worried about the time differences in different countries, Stefan?
We've got into a little bit of trouble for that. a few of the Americans haven't quite worked out that we're in England, and thought it was a bit wrong that we were putting it on at 6 o'clock in the morning for them, and so on and so forth. 11 o'clock is obviously a significant time to do a minute silence. The minute silence, the personal one, we've asked people to do it 11 o'clock their time locally. So wherever you are in the world, you do it at 11 o'clock. That would be great. Unfortunately, we had to find a fixed time to do our ceremony and the live webcast. We couldn't do it in the afternoon. It's too close to the opening ceremony. It's too close to Shabbat, which is obviously a consideration. And we thought we'd do the live webcast finishing at 11 o'clock with our own minute silence on the webcast. Unfortunately for people around the world, it's not necessarily the most convenient time, but hopefully they'll make an effort, or alternatively they'll watch. We will have it hopefully on our website to watch at a later time, and they'll still join in and watch it at their convenience.
Okay, so finally, Stefan, what would be your message to the viewers of this video with regard to this 1 minute silence?
It's a very simple one. Please join us in remembering the 11 Israeli athletes who died and the German police officer who died at the hands of terrorism at the 1972 Munich Games. 1 minute is not a long time in someone's day to stand silently and remember.
And the website is, again?
minuteformunich.org.
Okay, thank you very much for joining Jewish Online Magazine, Stefan.
My pleasure, thank you.
Thank you.